We had a topic. What were we talking about?
But we're talking about, like GCN or General
That's right.
Contractor.
Somebody I know very closely has been. Hello and welcome to the ProfitDig Construction Show. My name is Jerry Work, sitting here with my partner Jeff Spencer.
Bye, Jerry.
Jeff, how you doing?
Good, buddy. How you?
Oh man, I'm good. We got Chris Work and Jeff Givens just hanging out in the background, just chilling. So we had a topic. What were we talking about?
But we're talking about, like GCN or General
That's
Contractor.
right. Somebody I know very closely has been building her own house and acting as her own general contractor. I know you did the same. Mm-hmm. You are very qualified for such a thing, but it's something that anybody can do. If I want to build a house, I can be my own general contractor. It's not easy.
No, it's not. And, of course, like on mine, I was able to self-perform quite a bit of the stuff, that went on at my place. But, just like any GC, you've got to look at the scope of work, or you may not be willing to or able to perform anything on your home. But if you can't, you got to be soliciting bids from subs, from a land sub, to do your grade work, do your lot leveling, clearing, or whatever it may be. Someone to excavate your footings, pour your footings, do that. Someone to lay your blocks, brick, whatever it may be. You got to have a sub to do your framing, a roofing sub, electrical sub, plumbing sub, mechanical sub. You've got to be able to solicit all these people, and get multiple bids to be able to find someone that's in your price range and what you've got budgeted for your home.
How am I going to find all these people?
Well, just through, like for me, being in the construction industry for so long, I have contacts. I was able to reach out to certain people and get names of people and so on and so forth, So I was able to write down, make a list of all the subs I needed, reach out to multiple different, potential subs and solicit bids from them. If that is not something that you have access to, you've got to go around and look, get on the web or whatever, and try to find local contractors that do this kind of work, your plumbing contractors, roofing contractors, framing contractors. Most everyone that has a legitimate business has some kind of website, or you can find some kind of access. Okay. And, just look, get on there and search it out. Go to local material supply houses. Ask them, like, hey, I'm building my house, who would you recommend for a framing sub? Who would you recommend for a siding sub? Who would you recommend for a roofing sub?
Right, that would be a good source because all the people you need are going to be going to those places to
get materials and supplies, yes.
Right.
And most of them have a long-standing history with the material supply places, because they buy from local material suppliers.
Mm-hmm. So the person I know who has been doing this, it started with it's one of these metal houses.
Yeah, like a shop home or whatever you have,
all raised these days, And so that company had a crew and stuff to come and build the thing.
Right.
Which seems like it would make the process easier. Would that be something you would recommend for someone thinking about attempting this, to go with a company, basically buying a kit?
Right. And it's kind of a package deal. They put it together for a reason. They may not always be the best price. You may want to look at what we was talking about. Go to your local supply houses and ask them for, a framing sub, someone in a roofing sub, someone that can put this thing up. It may be cheaper on you to buy the materials from the company and get someone else to perform the labor.
Okay.
Because they put this thing together as a kit for a reason, because, they're going to make really good on the labor that they send out, and they're going to make really good on the materials.
Right.
And so, you may have someone that may be it may not be a detrimental savings, it may be, like 5-10%, but it may be a way that you can save a little bit of money by hiring a secondary sub and just buying a kit from the manufacturer.
Okay, I'll say this. If you try to do this and you make many mistakes along the way, because saving money, right, it would be one big reason to do this.
Right.
You're not having to pay a standalone general contractor. If you make many mistakes along the way, those savings evaporate quickly.
Yes.
So, does it just kind of depend on your comfort level with how much are you willing to do yourself? As far as, we're talking about, do you buy a package or do you try to do this on your own? I mean,
I would, again, with my construction background, I would definitely always try to do it on my own. And one of the things, I kept seeing, I actually got a few quotes to build my home. And I had already reached out and got material prices lined up, because I'd already picked the places I want to get my materials from and knew what I was going to do on my own. And I had figured those prices in as well. And when I created my budget, what I was seeing was about a 20+% that I was going to pay a GC to erect my home. Right. And, and some of them, were like closer to 30%. And some of these guys, were like friends to me and stuff, in which, I want them to make money if they're going to do it, but I would hope to get a little bit of a break, being that we're friends, But anyway, I got to looking at the pricing and stuff on that and what it was going to cost to pay someone. And I'm like, well, why don't I just gather up the suds myself, save that money? Because, in the long run, I'm not paying myself anything to do it, but I'm gaining a lot in a lesser house payment, and it's a home that's going to be mine. I'm overseeing it. I'm going to make sure that everything's done the way I want it done, and there's not going to be any squabble between me and a buddy I may hire, because I don't like his quality of work or don't like what he's doing, or so on and so forth.
Well, so speaking of quality of work, you know the situation I'm talking about.
Right,
the house
I do.
that's being built. As you know, the first excavation contractor that was hired to do all the dirt work did a very, very poor job,
Right.
which resulted in great expense on this project.
Right.
How do you avoid that? How do you know?
Well, there again, you kind of got to go around and talk to your local supply houses and stuff, and maybe even some local contractors. Who would you recommend? And get some, good 3 or 4 names of good people that you feel like you can trust. And most of the time, when you go to multiple locations to ask for, recommendations, you're going to start hearing the same name over and over and over and over again. So that's the ones that you're going to want to kind of look towards, and look at. It's like, well, I've been to 4 different places and asked for, recommendations. I keep getting this same name, so I really need to look at this guy.
I'm going to say I think that's important. Recommendations and referrals.
Yes.
You need to talk to someone, maybe multiple people who have,
Yes.
who this person has worked for.
And don't make it a one-stop shop. Don't go to one supply house and ask for recommendations. Go to 2 or 3 or 4, talk to 2 or 3 different contractors, and a lot of contractors are going to be willing to, some of them be willing to say, hey, this is a sub I use.
Yeah.
They do great work, I would recommend them.
So do your research.
Yes,
like,
do your
like
research.
it's probably going to take longer, but man, I can speak from personal experience, what I have seen, like you are better off making sure that the people you hire are very good.
It's not really going to take longer. If you do it right, of course, coming from a project manager's, standpoint, I may be kind of putting words in someone else's mouth, but just to kind of, most every contractor I talk to told me it's going to take a year to build my home, and 4.5 months from the time we dug the footing, we moved in.
Okay. Well, okay. So from that standpoint, it can be quicker, right?
Yeah.
You just need
Well,
to
and
make
it's,
sure you hire.
you've got to make sure that you schedule your subs. That's another thing. Is a schedule. you've got to make sure you got all your subs scheduled. And I did have a couple of subs that working on top of each other. They didn't like it, but they just had to suck it up and get it done. I mean, it's like, you're going to have to work together.
Yeah.
But that's just part of it. It's pushing your people a little bit and scheduling. When your electrician says he's going to be done next Friday, have your plumbers in there next Wednesday. Have them in there a couple of days early. Make things just fall into place.
You can't be afraid to chew out somebody's ass.
No, you can't. No.
All right. Any final tips or advice for somebody thinking about trying to be their own GC?
No, and I mean, I don't want you to flood our email or anything, but if you're thinking about doing it and have questions, if I can help you in any way, send us an email and we'll give you a call. I'm not going to email you back and forth. I'll pick up the phone, give you a call, and try to help you through it and give you some pointers best I can.
You pretty damn cool, Jeff. I'll tell you what now.
I try to be. I try to be as helpful as I can. But like I said, I still got a full-time job, and I still got a family to be with. But when I can, I'll definitely talk to people and try to give them advice.
That's all we're trying to do is help you all be more successful in whatever you're doing out there. Appreciate you watching us.
You bet.
We are from ProfitDig. We have a construction job bidding and costing solution. If you're in the construction industry, especially if you're a young or a small contractor, we think our solution will work excellent for your job bidding and costing.
Yes.
And if you like our videos, like it, subscribe it, share it, talk about it. Give us some comments. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jerry.
All right.
See you guys.